Wendigo. Wendigos live mostly in Canada and only appear during the winter. They are an evil spirit that possesses other humans, causing insatiable hunger and the desire to eat human flesh. When they eat a human, they grow that same size proportionally, so they can never satisfy their hunger. They are humanoid creatures that look like humans but are super tall and very skinny due to starvation. And although they are often depicted as having a deer-like face with antlers, that is an entirely made-up European legend. The real Wendigo actually has human-like facial features, sharp teeth, and reflective eyes. And they also give off a stench of decaying flesh. They can even keep some of the memories and physical attributes of the victims they consume, so they can mimic other humans, like their voices, words, and even entire sentences to lure their prey. There is an actual mental illness called the Wendigo psychosis, which is characterized by the person having an intense craving for human flesh or the fear of becoming a cannibal. Most notably, Wendigos appear in the popular horror game Until Dawn, which is set in the Rocky Mountains of Alberta in Canada. Oh, and by the way, when a Wendigo is near you, you'll get sudden goosebumps. Bigfoot. The Bigfoot is probably the most well-known mythical creature in the world, and because of that, there are a lot of people who claim to have seen it. It looks like a mixture of human and ape. It is bipedal, covered in dark brownish hair and 10 feet tall, and its eyes grow red in the dark. It initially started off as a legend in the northern Canadian woods, but quickly spread out to other parts of the world. There's even a story of a group of 9 Soviet hikers that went hiking in the northern Ural Mountains and never came back. When the incident was investigated, they saw that they had set up camp during a blizzard, and during the night something made them cut their way out of their tent and flee into the snow with very little clothes on, which led to 6 of them dying of hypothermia. The other 3 died in horrible ways. Their bodies were disfigured, with 2 of them had their eyes missing, and 1 of them had their tongue ripped from its root, and another one had no eyebrows. One of the hikers died trying to desperately climb a tree. Scientists and investigators say that an avalanche caused all of this. Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers have gained a lot of popularity the last few years on the internet. They are witches that can possess, turn into, or disguise themselves as animals when they wear the animal skin. They usually don't have a reason to kill people besides their own family members. They like to isolate and lure their victims one by mimicking other humans, just like Wendigos. However, unlike Wendigos, their vocabulary is very limited, because they usually only mimic the last words of their victims, which is why they are mostly heard begging for help or screaming intensely. Also, fun fact, the closer a skinwalker is, the further it sounds. Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness is a lake in Scotland, and there's a monster living in it, called Nessie. The myth originated in 1933 when a man named George Spicer claimed to have seen a monster in the lake. A newspaper published his story and it immediately got the public's attention. Nessie is supposedly huge, with a very large neck and 1 or 2 humps on its back, similar to a brachiosaurus, but in the water. There have been a series of alleged sightings throughout the years, most notably in 2011, a boat captain on the lake photographed a sonar image of a 1.5 meter wide unidentified object that followed his boat for 2 minutes at a depth of 23 meters. The captain ruled out the possibility of a small fish or seal, which makes the people think it was Nessie. And in 2012, George Edwards claimed that a photo he took in 2011 shows Nessie. He searched for the monster for 26 years and spent 60 hours a week on the loch aboard his boat, named Nessie Hunter 4, and he took tourists for rides. The Boogeyman. The Boogeyman is a little generic. Many different cultures have something similar to the Boogeyman, which is primarily used by adults to scare children for misbehavior. In Latin America, there's also the Sackman and El Coco. Because it's so generic, it has no specific physical appearance, but parents usually describe it as having sharp teeth and claws in order to scare children. In the 2023 horror movie called The Boogeyman straight up looks like a demon, but that's a horror movie, so they may have exaggerated its appearance. The legend says that the Boogeyman steals misbehaving children at night and sometimes even eats them. Chupacabra. The Chupacabra originates from Puerto Rico and it literally translates to goat sucker. It's named that way because it's almost like a vampire, but for livestock. The story originated when in 1995 a series of livestock killings happened in Puerto Rico where around 150 farm animals died with 3 punctured wounds in the chest and completely drained of blood. Some people say it looks almost like an alien reptilian with big claws and some spikes on its back. Other people say it looks like a wolf-like creature but with very sharp fangs. The latter makes investigators and skeptics believe that the sightings were actually a coyote or a maned wolf. Also, there's a disease called mange, which makes an animal scratch to the point where its hair falls off and its skin is bloody, giving it an almost zombie-like appearance. This disease can happen to any animal, but it happens more often to dogs. Kraken. The Kraken might be the most famous legend in the world. It's a squid or octopus-like creature, and it is massive. It was first seen in the early 1700s by Scandinavian sailors, who say that the Kraken lives in the waters between Iceland and Norway. And it is known for taking down entire ships, no matter their size. It has been shown in many stories and movies, including the Pirates of the Caribbean. Its actual size is unknown, but skeptics today say that the first sightings back in the 1700s might have been a giant squid, which is a real animal that can grow up to 15 meters in length. Yokai. The yokai comes from Japan and it is a type of spiritual entity. Usually in the West, we think of spirits as demons or evil, but the yokai can be either good or evil. They can cause harm to humans or help humans. They can be animals like the tengu, which is a kite-like monster with a red face and a long nose, and they are said to be the protector of forests and mountains. Or they can be humanoid like the slit-mouthed woman, which is an evil spirit that covers her face with a mask and carries a pair of scissors or knife, or any type of sharp object. She also has long, straight black hair and her skin is pale. According to the legend, she will ask people if she's beautiful. If they say no, she kills them. If they say yes, she then shows them her face, revealing a scar on her mouth going from ear to ear. Then she'll ask the question again. If they say no, she'll kill them, and if they say yes, she'll cut their mouth open to give them the same scar. Legend says that the best way to survive an encounter with her is by distracting her with money or saying that her appearance is average. The yokai can also resemble inanimate objects, so basically they can be pretty much anything and you'll never know if they want to harm you or help you.